Hey, yo, what is going on with it once again? Bros, women, bronies, and pegasisters is the one, the only, of course, Mr. Nintendo Sony Free 2011, aka Criticism Guide 2009, of course, you know the rest. So, before I do begin, obviously, like I always do, shout out to Freedom, and definitely go check out freedom.com and, and TroubleNetworkStudios.com, of course, if you want to, like, grow your subscriber rate a little bit higher, or if you want to get more views. Obviously, more views on your videos and more make your channel grow a little bit better than it was before, in a better position. Obviously, if you want a channel design, banner, if you don't want anything really awesome like that, so that way you can maybe get more popularity. If you're looking into that, hey, go for it. Or if you want to get a good partnership, definitely check those guys out. And obviously, one other thing real quick, I have two updates to tell you guys. This Friday, I will be opening up this. I already opened up the packages and all that. Not really the packages, but I opened up 3 of these bad boys. They weren't all Mega Man Entrix, obviously, but I opened up 3, what was it called? Phantom Forces, English versions of the Japanese Phantom Gate, obviously. And I got 2 really awesome pulls. I got a rare reverse Kingler in there, and then I also got really awesome, beautiful, sexy full art. I might put this up now, so probably not going to be surprised if I put it. Phew, there you go. And most of you people probably saw it. It was a trainer full art. I'm not going to say which one it is because there's 4 different ones. You be the decider on that. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that Friday. That's my first update. And actually tomorrow, Wednesday, as I'm filming this on Tuesday, I actually ordered, and I know this is going to sound weird, a really cool ass, badass looking iPhone 6 aqua blue. I think it was iPhone 5 or 6 that I ordered. Not sure, it was over a month ago when I did it. And it should be coming in tomorrow in the mail. I cannot wait to show you guys that awesome ass, beautiful gadget device. So that way I could try to start doing videos on that. Maybe even 1080p, who knows. That would be sick as fuck. I've been able to do videos on the iPhone on 1080p. Because I've never owned an iPhone in my life. I've always been an Android owner. So this is literally the first time I'm actually switching to an iPhone for the Apple company and all that. Because mostly I've always been an Android, more of an Android carrier. And well, actually, most of my carriers, the only 3 I've ever had was Sprint, the real extremely shitty-ass one, Metro PCS, and T-Mobile. I've had another one, too. It was kind of crap, but you know what? It was better than Cricket and Metro PCS. I had Boost Mobile for a little bit way back in 06. They were kind of shit, I'm not going to lie. But you know what? They were still fairly decent. I got their smartphone, too. It's pretty decent for Motorola. Motorola's a really good company. It's just their calls drop really fast. They're always extremely staticky and all that. It's kind of a little bit of a crappy service if you're using the phone. But if you're texting people on there, or if you're using the 4 or 5G version of that for Boost Mobile, it's pretty damn badass. Good. BA, excuse me. I'm sorry. I gotta remember I can't cuss. Whatever. So without further ado, let's begin. This one, hopefully you read the title up above and below. I'm going to split this video into 2 parts. If not 2, I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 parts if I ramble too much. And I've only done this one time in a rant last year that I talked about Gligar 13 or Gligar 13. I'm not sure if any of my old subscribers. This is back when I had like about 200, 250 subscribers. I'm almost at about 500 again. I lost 4. I had like 495 as a stand. So I don't know what's going on. I had 500 about 2 weeks ago, and then I go down to 490. Then I go up to 495. Then down to 494, 493. Then I go 495 again, which was about 2 days ago. I don't know what's up. I don't know why I can't stay at 500 subscribers. I really would like to go beyond that to 1,000. I'm just saying, just putting it out there, just a little nitpick. But other than that, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is probably going to be a 30-minute video, so that's all I got to say about that. This is actually for all the bronies and pegasisters, especially out there. It's a lot of pony-related stuff. And the people that I'm showing, this is the video that they actually did, so I'm going to be clicking left or right. I'm not going to show the actual video art, because this isn't the real official video art. This is from fanboys and fangirls that did their own fan arts. Alright, I'm done rambling now. So, this is called Octavia Puppeteer Strings. I would have done like a fanfic story review on this, but it is extremely long. This takes about a good 3-4 hours. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours together. Because I remember when Scribbler read this, and she was the narrator. If any people don't know Scribblers, I did do a channel review on her before, a couple months ago. I think it was like earlier this year. She even thanked me herself. So Scribbler, I doubt if you're watching, but if you are, Stay awesome, stay cute with that sweet, awesome, sexy British accent that you have. It's really cute, it's adorable. Even though her boyfriend is, where is he at? He's not on here. I thought I had him on here. Oh well, Reverend Brony. He's way down here, I think. Yeah. This is him right here, Reverend Brony. That's her boyfriend, so. I'm not trying to hit on her or nothing. I'm just saying she's sounds really beautiful. She's awesome. But other than that, excluding all that aside, let's begin this fan fiction like heroic tale. A heroic tale MLPFIM, a puppet to her fame by Caden. It's a romance, tragedy, and dark fake. And you're just gonna hear them talk. You're not really gonna hear them, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually see each other. You're just gonna see this the whole time, but like, here it is. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys too. It might be real loud, so turn your, whatever it is, your speaker or microphone down. Sounds really cool music in the background. Hopefully I don't get no strike for that. I'm going to be pausing the video a couple times too. If they make any like very important things, I'm just going to like think what I think about the discussion and everything too.
Hello and welcome to the Heroic Review, the show where we, the cast of the Heroic Tales, discuss
I've been wanting to do this for the past few days. I just haven't had time to get around to it.
My name is Deddy Reg.
I want to do this on Friday. It's already Tuesday.
And I'm the moderator for this discussion.
I'm real happy about this.
Joining me is my panel of pony
I'll put the whole link down below without me talking, so you don't want to hear my voice. Definitely check the link down below.
Kumbasa. Hello all. Reverb. Hello everyone. Scribbler.
Hello.
My girl Scribbler right there.
Joining us for the first time is the Lost Narrator. Hello.
Oh, another real cool
chick.
Lost Narrator and
Goomba. I am playing Rose Quartz.
Goomba.
And finally,
that's Goomba Brony right here. And then this one's the one I'm pointing out is Lost Narrator. And her here too.
By Caden or Kaidan, depending on how you say it. As the pick selector this time, Side Barrel has the honour of introducing this pick. So
let me pause it real quick.
My unicorn.
This is the thing. No offense to the UK, especially the ones that live out in the UK, like London, England, British, Wales, Great Britain, any of those areas out there, like, what's it called? The something district, I don't know. The Late Run district, I think that's what it's called. Or Berlin district. No offense to all you guys, but I know you guys got different ways of pronunciation. The pronunciation you guys talk about, when you say like military, they'll say military instead of military. It's a little bit different. I know that's the original older English compared to how we talk English over here in the United States. That's just a little thing I want to point out. Sometimes it's a pet peeve, but at the same time, I got to understand. It's a lot more of a different culture out there out in the UK than it is over here in the US. And there's a few differences. That's all I'm going to say about that. But no offense to you guys that are living out there. If you're living in the United Kingdom, no offense, I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Just a little different the way we pronounce stuff in the U.S.
Parents called me a worthless mud pony. They pushed me every day to overcome my low
Oh man, that's crazy, man.
When I woke up one morning with my cutie mark,
Alright.
I thought they would love me. I couldn't have been further from the truth. It was not destiny or enjoyment that led me to discover the cello and composing. My parents made that decision, deciding before I was born that I would continue their family legacy of famous musicians. They didn't realise what their decision would cost.
I'm going to make this tiny.
Alright, the tags for this story are romance, tragedy, and dark, which is quite appropriate. Bearing in mind the tags, can everyone give me their general overall opinions of the fic before we really start to peel this apart? Brain by Saucepans, if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, on first reading, I thoroughly enjoyed this fic, but as I've read it again, I have noticed a lot of problems with it, and I think they'll come up during the review.
Alright, Cider Barrel?
This was one of the first dark fics I ever read.
Trying to find the pause button.
That's why I chose it.
Oh, there
it
it
just
is.
seemed to stand out a little bit from the others I've read.
Gumbasa?
This story!
Reverb? I had a lot of problems
Fuck
with
this. Forget this story. Excuse me. Whoops.
Absolutely
Forgot about
ruined
that.
it for me.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I like that. He even cut himself out too.
Ideas which actually really resonated with me, and I actually found quite inspiring.
Scribbler, do you want to give us your thoughts?
I
That is my
found
girl right
it
there.
to be a strange beast, in that there are some elements of it that I found admirable.
I can agree with her with that because some of the evidence that was in this fanfic, if you haven't heard this, I'm gonna put the original fan fiction in the description below. Like I said, so you don't want to hear my voice. Totally understandable. yeah, some of the stuff in this like film. Sound discretion is advised in that movie, not in that movie, in that video, because it's a lot of dark, grimdark, really insanely crazy, disgusting like abuse that's in there, and the way that Octavia gets treated, it's very, very like, it's pretty much like tortureness. Not torture porn or anything like that, but like the way that her parents treat her sounds very, very offensive. It kind of sounds like child abuse in a way. And it's real sad because I know it's a fake thing, it's about ponies and everything, but you know, sometimes the fan fiction community, sometimes they get a little out of hand. So if you get very grossly offended by her getting her flank burned by a ghost, or her mother, and one example, when she ends up burning her whole mouth with this really super hot lava soup, and she can't talk for a week, and she starts crying. If you have a sensitive stomach for that, I highly suggest you don't listen to this fan fiction, because it gets a little dark, very mentally dark, not physically, because you know, even though this has happened physically in real life, it's a little different because it's a lot worse than other things. You know, this is still My Little Pony, just it's a fan fiction version of it. It's not the official headcanon like the show, because there's no way in hell Hasbro would even think about putting any of this material, this torture material or blood and gore material like I did with Cupcakes. There's no way in hell they would actually make that a real episode with Hasbro, because they know their main audience. Well, the original main target of this audience was supposed to be for little girls, but when 4chan ended up blowing this thing out of the water, this ended up being very popular for other age groups, old and young, people my age even. Yeah, let's continue.
Elements of it that I found rather disturbing, but not perhaps in the way the author had intended.
See, I told you.
Some elements of it laughable, some confusing,
Yeah.
and some that I hesitate to even put a name to. It is definitely one of the darkest fics I've read that wasn't just go without plot. But I'm not entirely sure whether that was a good or a bad thing. It made me think, which is something I appreciate after last time's bloody fic. But I'm not sure if it would stand the test of really highly critical reading.
Sweetly, you could go.
Well, going into this fic, you know, I just sort of took it with a grain of salt. I mean, I'd heard previously from some of you that you didn't like it, but reading through it, I thought...
Oh yeah, speaking of which on that, I did read some of the comments on that video. Some people got really pissed off. They really hated the parents, the way that Octavia was being treated, being beaten, being physically bullied, mentally harassed, and verbally and spiritually harassed. Some people had issues with that, so I remember some of the comments were saying all that type of noise. And then they got to realize it's not real, it's fake. It's imagination. That's what you have to use when you use fan fiction or you're reading it. I have a very highly productive imagination, so I'm able to visually see what's going on, like mentally in a visual way. I'm able to like picture in my head what's going on. That's why I enjoy a lot of these fan fiction stories that they talk about. They sound really awesome and cool to me.
Pretty good. To start, like, it sounded like it had a plot that was going to go somewhere, but the further it went on, the more bizarre it seemed to get.
It had a twist plot at the end.
I was still enjoying it, but I still couldn't understand some of the elements that were coming to life, and some of it just didn't make sense to me. I don't know, just some parts really lost me, and I'm questioning why those elements were there, aside from just trying to push the plot along or to just wrap up the story.
Lost?
I actually really
my
enjoyed
girl lost
this
narrator
for the most part. I have to admit though, there were certain
I actually did
elements of it
a
that I
channel
felt
review on her a couple
lacking,
weeks ago, so you can
especially
check
when it
her
came to
out too.
characterization and pacing, especially pacing. There were certain parts I was just like, oh no. But for the most part though, I really enjoyed this story.
Webshotter?
His web shotter right here. I don't know him too well. I've checked his channel. He doesn't do no videos, so sadly I didn't subscribe to him. You guys can if you want, but I'm not going to.
Throughout the whole event, especially up towards the end, it pulled on my emotions, and I'm going to be honest.
I can agree with him on that.
And
wait, hold on.
There's a few other things I want to talk about on it, but that will get
before
to
you keep going, because yeah, he said he's going to get to that later on. Because I've heard this one before. No, all right. I was trying to control how like big the screen gets. Yeah, how huge and gigantic it gets, because I don't want to take the whole screen, just half. Anyways, what he said there, when it was pulling out his emotions, in a way, this fanfic story kind of immersed me into this world of Canterlot and how Octavia's lifestyle. Excuse me, I just drank a couple of full throttles and a Monster Energy drink. If any people haven't seen, off topic real quick, if any people haven't seen that Monster Energy drink where that Christian lady's going ape shit, well, not ballistic, ape crap, excuse me. Ugh. Keep forgetting not to use profanity. It is very hard not to do that. Many people haven't seen that lady not really go ballistic, but be very offended about Monster Energy drinks. I was saying, oh, it's from the devil, it's from Satan. She's just one of those extremist Christians, that's all. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. I'm not an atheist or anything, because I used to be a Christian a lot more than I am now. I'm barely any at all. I'm pretty much a lukewarm one. You know, it is what it is. My opinion, I'm entitled to it, right? Right. Anyways, yeah, check that video out if you want. Going back on topic, yeah, that's this crap, excuse me, it definitely pulled on my emotions too. Like, the world that Octavia was living in, it immersed me. Especially when she was getting beaten, hurt, like, rudely disrespected by her own family. It's like, my emotions and my feelings did go into this. You know, seriously, this was a very, very dark story. When I heard the first three a couple months ago, I don't know if it was in July or August, because we're in November right now as I'm doing this video. So, of this year, 2014, I'm not sure. But it was a little creepy, too, because it has a lot of demonic spiritual entities in this thing, too. That's a little freaky. Hence the name, A Puppet to Her Fame. I thought it was a puppet to her strings, actually a puppet to her fame. Anyways, yeah, let me keep playing it.
Okay, this would be the point where I would mark in the show notes that it's going to be quite spoilerific because we're about to go through the events of the story. So, who would like to give us a very brief summary of the events of the story?
I'll go. Obviously, the story stars Octavia, but not the Octavia that we've all come to know. This is an Octavia with a different background. Dark secrets are in her family. And as we go through the story, more and more of those secrets start to be shown, but at the same time, there's still a dark, mysterious puppeteer in the background.
What the puppeteer?
So,
it's kind of like the demonic entity that's controlling Octavia.
And answer.
Pretty fair.
Dark magic, as they like to
what
call
did
it.
we think of the use of tags? Do we feel they were appropriate?
Missing one tag. That's how I feel.
Which tag?
That's true. Yeah, we'll give that.
Is it though? Because these are background ponies. We don't know anything about them, so this could be just another.
Spot on, Scribbler.
Well,
you're right.
Yes.
You're awesome,
But
girl.
I
You
would
are
argue
so
that
BA.
with the way that the fandom
We
has
really
taken
don't
these
know
background
anything about them
ponies
except for
and
like the
developed
correlations and the
personalities
designs
for
and
them over
personalities
time,
that they
to
give
the
them.
point where most people
You
are
know,
willing to
just
accept
fake
those
personalities.
personalities that have been fabricated by the fandom as fact at this point.
Yeah,
It is very,
exactly.
very jarring to see a fic that takes such a huge leap from what people are used to. Whether or not it's a new interpretation, I still feel it would have benefited if it had at least warned us ahead of time how different this story was going to be.
I have to say that every time a story is tagged as dark and tragedy, that kind of indicates we're not going to get the similar sort of setting to the show style. I don't think Alternate Universe is a necessary tag in that sort of case, because it doesn't contradict the show. The show itself doesn't really support what we're presenting.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Outright contradictions.
Yes, that's why I don't think it should be tagged as alternative universe, because it's not. For all that the fandom has accepted and created personalities, they're not canon personalities. Therefore, they have no more weight or importance than somebody else's interpretation of them. And therefore, as distasteful as you might find it, this is as acceptable as anything else.
Well, I find it very distasteful, thank you.
I agree with Scribbler, mainly because, of course, Vinyl and Octavia are completely fandom made just from a few pictures in the show.
Yeah, I think
Hold
together
on.
they've got about less than 20 seconds of screen time between them.
Oh yeah, definitely, Scribbler. Definitely, she does. I want to go back to what he said right there. There's a crap ton. I kid you not, people, ladies and gentlemen. Especially if you're a brony or pegasister, and if you're very, very committed and you're really deep into this fandom, there's a whole bunch. I could go on for not even hours, years. I could go on years of explaining how much fandom like fan fictions, fan arts, Rule 34s, which I'm not going to get into, because if you know what Rule 34 is, don't look that up. because it kind of has something to do with pornography, but like with animation. But other than that, unless you're over 18. If you're over 18, hey, go nuts. But if you're under that age, you're probably not going to listen to me anyways. But if you're under that age, definitely do not look at that. It'll kind of corrupt you a little bit. Other than that, what was I going to say? Yeah, what he said right there, how many fan fictions that they have and how many fan arts, promotion, merchandise that they have of Vinyl and Octavia. Vinyl Scratch, as I like to call her, or DJ Pone 3, is better known as that pony's name. Or Octavia, or Tavi, as like the fandom likes to have, what's her name? Vinyl Scratch, called Octavia. I usually have them in a sort of lesbian relationship, where they want to have sex with each other and do a whole bunch of other things, which I'm not going to get into because, hey, little kids might be watching this, so I'm trying to keep it PG-13 rated as much as I can. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. So people should expect that. They shouldn't really get offended by it. And I have no offense against like lesbians or gays or homosexuals or the LGBT community. I don't care what you guys do. The only thing in a way I kind of care about a little bit, as long as you know, as long as you people don't show your emotion in front of me. I'm not trying to sound like a bigot or anything like that. Because I don't think bigot or bigotry is a cuss word. So as long as you people respect my opinion, as long as you don't make out in front of me or nothing like that, that's cool. Because I actually heard in Mexico when one of my friends went out there, they said that's real big out there right now. Like the LGBT community, they said there's a lot of dudes and girls kissing each other in front of 5-6-year-old kids. In a way, there's still sort of a small moral standard I have against that. I'm not saying you guys can go out and get married. Go out and get married. Go for it. If your state's legal, if you're a lesbian, a gay, a homosexual, or transgender, or a tranny, or a bisexual, hey, go out and get married if it's legal in your state. Because I think out here in Nevada, it's officially legal. It legalized it last month. I'm not trying to make this all into politics, but yeah, going back to Octavia and Vinyl Scratch, yeah, it's usually a lesbian relationship most of the time. And like I said, I don't got no problem with that, just as long as you don't do it in front of me. I'm not trying to sound like a bigot, just saying. Let's continue.
To make the point that I agree with Gumbasa, I can't conceive of, if this was a story that was to be constructed.
The video's almost 30 minutes, so when it hits 30-minute mark, I'm going to make a second part.
I can't in good conscience believe that something of these events could occur in that universe.
No, I agree with you there. It doesn't fit in with the tone of the series. You're right there.
Then again, neither does 95% of everything on fan fiction.
Very true.
If you contrast this with something else that I think got the dark tag, which was Home is Where the Harp Is. I mean, that is an external event that's happening to the setting that we know. I mean, I'm not saying I'm waiting for the episode of that to show up, but it doesn't contradict anything, whereas I feel the tone of this completely contradicts.
True, but then again, there's other really famous, really popular, really accepted dark fics that don't fit with the show, like The Cough. And that is lauded as one of the best fics in the fandom. And yet, I would never ever see a plague come along, wipe out most of Ponyville, and Rainbow Dash have to keep Fluttershy's head in.
Season 5.
That kind of sounds like one of the episodes, if any of you people have watched My Little Pony Friendship Manager, I think it was Season 3 or Season 2 with the Paris sprites, and then Pinkie Pie has to take them out with the music. It sounds like a little reference Scribbler threw in there just for the hell of it. Let's continue.
Terrible.
Kick Rainbow Dashes out.
Can we talk about the picture, please?
Yes, let's talk
because
about
that is a terrifying picture.
I love that picture so much.
If you don't blow it up to full size, you can't see that she's crying, and it just looks scary until you realise there's tears, and then it becomes bloody tragic.
It's amazing. It's a perfect cover image for this fic. If I have to say anything positive about the fic, I will say that the cover image is very well done. There. That is the only nice thing I am saying during this entire conversation.
I think, and I can't swear to this, but I used to check the Draw Friends pretty regularly, and I think around about the time this came out last year, the pic came first. So the picture was first, the fic was second.
It does state on the description that cover art by Dreamcore was the inspiration for the story, so yes.
The cover art, it's amazing, and what really got my attention was the strings attached to her that just holy crap, oh man, what ride am I in for this time?
Yeah, those are really haunting.
It's an amazing picture.
Her eyes stare at you when you do blow it up. And I think the picture is more tragic than the fic itself, but because I was still shouting at the characters for being so stupid at the end.
But
if you're wondering what picture they're talking about, I think I actually have it in here. This is the picture that they're talking about right here. When their eyes are really staring deep into your soul, that type of thing. It is scary as hell, I'm not gonna lie. But that's what it's supposed to do to you. They mess with your emotions. Some of these authors and illustrators, or the people that read fan fiction, sometimes they really like to emotionally and verbally like to mess with people's heads. Not like a troll type of thing, maybe like creepypastas are sort of like that. Because I know the Lost Narrator, she came from the creepypasta community, which, let me tell you, I still sort of have a few gripes with that community, but at the same time, that's mostly to a younger fan base, mainly a lot of little kids and teenagers like listening to that. I'm pretty much a grown-ass man, I really don't care too much of creepypastas. There's a couple people maybe my age that are into it, because when the creepypasta community thing started coming out, I'm not going to try to go off topic, maybe I'll go a little off topic. That came out during a time when I wasn't a little kid anymore. I was about 20, 21-ish, so 2009, 2010-ish. And I was already out of school, well, high school. College, I only heard maybe one or two people talk about it because, you know, hey, that's how college is. There's a couple young folks in there, but not to try to get off too much off a track. That's and that's still kind of a community I have a few gripes with, but not too many. I do like the video game creepypastas, I won't lie. Obviously, in the old school ones, like with Mario and the Sonic creepypasta. What else is out there? The Dead Ben, the Ben Drowned one. That creepypasta is pretty cool. It has to do with like Legend of Zelda's, not Ocarina of Time, but Majora's Mask. That's a pretty cool one. So the video game ones I'm real into. Even the cartoon conspiracy theories. Which, I don't know if that really overborders creepypastas, but I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Let's continue. And it's only 3 minutes left.
Still, either way,
cutting it off
the picture
at 30
works for the
minutes.
story, and the story works for the picture. At least to me, it does.
They work together well. It's a good fiction spin-off of an image that's been done. It's a good image.
I'm not going to say my outro either, because I might split this into 4 or 5 different parts.
Okay, so let's
This is
break
gonna be a
down the
little
structure of the story. What we basically have in the story is Octavia has been raised by a pair of abusive unicorn parents who do literally everything in their power to taunt and humiliate and basically abuse her.
Earlier.
She finally leaves to join the orchestra, which leads to a series of hilarious misadventures with some normal folk, which leads to more abuse, which eventually leads to the end, where a mysterious figure that's been haunting her throughout the fiction murder her parents and then drive her into a lifetime of torment. So how do we feel about the plot?
I think you missed some stuff there, and there were a couple of things you got wrong.
Alright, please correct me.
She was raised, they're natural parents, because I think it's worth pointing out that the unicorns are her natural parents, and her father married her mother against his parents' consent. Then, when she gave birth to an earth pony, it was highly, highly embarrassing, and she sort of took this lack of acceptance by his parents out on Octavia, with the idea that if she had managed to get a cutie mark in music of her own volition, and had managed to be a talented musician like her mother and her father, it would have been more forgivable. But Octavia didn't have that natural talent. Therefore, one day when she was very young, she went upstairs, she'd heard a strange musical song going on in the attic, or in one of the upper rooms. She went upstairs, got knocked out and fell downstairs, woke up with a burning sensation on her flank and a cutie mark of a treble clef. And from then on, she started hearing music. And whenever this discordant music got too loud, she felt the need to write it down, and it all went away again. And eventually, you're right, she did join an orchestra, but it was under her parents' consent. And
that's where it gets really mentally scary.
And from there, she met Lyra, went to a club with Lyra, met Bun Bun and Vinyl on stage. She begins some strange sort of quasi-romance with Vinyl that involves lots and lots and lots of alcohol, which I found very distracting. And from there, the music sort of takes umbrage at this and develops into sets of strings, like puppeteer strings with hooks on the end. And the
Alright, it's already almost 30 minutes, so I'll see you guys in part 2. Stay tuned for this mini-series, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute.